Hello again, everyone. I apologize for that last video getting clipped a little bit at the end. It sort of crashed, but I was pretty much done with what I was saying anyway, so I'm just going to kind of continue on with part 2 of the video in which we go through some of the documentation as it relates to the class. So let's start with, so you can get this document through Blackboard. But you can see it's pretty much just your sort of standard information about the course. A little bit of information about myself, my office, which is Engelman Hall C27D. Feel free to stop by. I'm here most of the time, to be honest. My email and phone number. Email is usually the best way to get a hold of me. I do have some sort of standardized office hours here, which you can feel free to swing by anytime during those times, and I should be here. Information in the syllabus, of course, about plagiarism and academic misconduct. Please do read that, about accommodations for students with disabilities. Read through that as well if you are a student with disabilities, or if you think you might be and you need some help. Then please do reach out to the DRC, for which I've got a link here on the syllabus. So check that out. I already talked a little bit about some of the course objectives. Those are going to become really clear as you start to work with the modules. But ultimately what we're trying to do is talk about contemporary Native America, the politics, history, and culture of Native American people living in the United States, primarily, as I was saying before, today. And so that's going to require us to go back in time a little bit and contextualize things historically and even archaeologically, but primarily we're going to be dealing with contemporary political issues, and we'll see in a minute which ones those might be. As for your major assignments and how the class is broken down, the single largest chunk of your grade is your Blackboard responses. So you have in Blackboard, I'll show you in a minute, you have modules. Each one of those modules is a standalone item. I'll say now that the modules don't really have due dates. You don't have to do them week by week. You do not have to have them done by the Friday or the Sunday of any given week. They are essentially due by the end of the semester, so you can do them at your own pace. I would not advise you to start working on those with 2 weeks out from the end of the semester, because each one of the modules will take you several hours of work to complete, to watch everything you have to watch and to do everything you have to do. But more on that in a minute when we get to Blackboard. We do have a final examination, which will be available actually to you on Blackboard pretty soon. If it's not already, you can actually complete that whenever you want. Almost treat it like a little extra, like a slight writing assignment. Due on May 10th, and then you have 2 papers in the sort of 4 to 5 page range, and they're each worth a quarter of your grade, and they're due on March 22nd and May 10th. So those do have due dates, so keep an eye out for that. I mean, this May 10th date is the end of the semester. That's basically when everything's due. But this first paper, I would like you to get in here by this March 22nd date, because that does give me a chance to break up the grading a little bit throughout the semester, and give you some feedback as well on how you're doing in case you need to be picking up the slack somewhere. The course schedule here, of course, is not based on dates. As I was saying, this is a description of the modules. I'll note that after you do this, the one thing that is really time sensitive is your response to the very first discussion board, which you have to do right away. This is so that I can take a sort of attendance for the class. As you probably know from your other classes, we do have to submit an attendance a couple of weeks into the semester, and anybody who is listed as absent during that time, or for all of that time, people who've never appeared in the course, do risk being dropped from the course by the university. And so for an online course, we still have to do this. And so the way that I manage this is I have this little introduction response, sort of a response to this video. It will take it 5 minutes, but that just gives me a chance to get you sort of checked into the course so that I know you're actually here and I can submit you as attending. After that, you'll just work through the modules one by one. There's little descriptions of them here. Obviously, the modules themselves, they don't all actually have written responses. Some of them you have to write a discussion board response. Some of them you have to work with some data or outside readings, short outside readings. Some of them you just have to watch something, a lecture or a movie or something like that. So just go through the modules, and what you see there is what needs to be done. If I add anything to any of the modules, and I might do that this semester, like if I tack on an extra a small discussion or something like that, I will let everybody know by email that that's happened, just in case maybe you've gone past that module and you'd have to go back and do one more small thing. So I will let you know if any of these modules change at any time. Okay, so that's the syllabus. Really quickly, also on Blackboard, there are also rubrics. These quite detailed descriptions of the 2 papers. They look like this, and they're on Blackboard, and you can grab those. They have the due dates as well as a breakdown of exactly how they'll be graded. That's what makes them rubrics. So take a look at those when you get a chance. And the last thing that I want to show you today is Blackboard. So you've all used Blackboard before. Let me just make this a little smaller so we can see it. If you have never used Blackboard before, you're going to need it for this course. It is quite important. So you'll navigate to Blackboard just by using the university's website to do that. And when you get in, you'll be greeted with this. So these videos, you'll be seeing them. They're located right here under the Introductions tab, this first tab. They're not up yet because I'm recording them as right now. But you can see this Introductions forum. That's that thing I was talking about that I need you to do right away. So, do this ASAP or RISP and blah. You see with that. So do that first. That's the very first thing. The Course Materials tab has all of those documents that I was just talking about. A copy of the syllabus and both of the written assignments, the rubrics for those. So take a look at those. And then after that, you just have your modules. So your typical module might look something like this. Well, I'll pick a different one actually because this doesn't have a written assignment. Let's try this one instead, right? So for this one, there's a film that I'll ask you to watch called Real Engine, and then a response forum, which looks like this. It looks like some people have actually already jumped in and answered a couple of these, which is great. If you've already gotten started, that's wonderful. But you'll see here there's 3 questions. You'll go through and put an answer in each of these 3 questions, and that's how you go forward. Sometimes you only have to answer one question, sometimes you have to answer all the questions. Just read the instructions that are associated with each of the forum responses, and that should make it really, really clear. So everything is basically these link outs to film. So this is a movie, Real Engine, but then if you went back to, if we went back to historical context, these are lectures, so they link out to a YouTube video of the lecture so you don't have to download them. And basically you'll work through the semester and just do each of those things one by one. So, some of them we're going to see have quite a lot you have to do. So for Indigenous Health, I know you've got to read these things. There's a written response. There's videos you have to watch. And some of them are much simpler. So for instance, civil rights, it's just a movie that you'll have to watch with no response. So, there's different things for every one of them, but each one of them will take a substantial amount of time to respond to. When you've finished all of the modules, there's a couple of review videos here, and then finally the final exam itself, which you can take at any time. You can take it right now if you want. I wouldn't advise that. I would do, finish all the modules first and then do the final exam. And that's it. If you have any questions at all, don't hesitate to contact me, reach out to me, come to my office hours, set up a meeting with me, email me, and I will be happy to help. And I look forward to getting to know you all a little better this semester. Thank you.